Hey, just guess who was that back there? Just anybody have a guess? Who? He's just so disruptive. Look at him. Hi, Jason. He doesn't have a clue. By the way, that's normal. Wow. Hi, Jason. All right, so we're having a little fun. So I want to bring up this next gentleman who has extraordinary information, very impactful, and kind of really brings up the vibe when he's putting the pieces together for us, which is very, very important. He's also just a damn good, nice guy. When you meet this or spend some time with him, you'll be blown away. There's just no ego attached to this gentleman whatsoever, which all I care about is authenticity, and this guy's about as authentic as it gets. He's definitely not as good looking as I am, but I'll still bring him up. Derek Johnson.
Thank you. You can now turn the clock off. Just kidding. Yeah, I don't like that thing. It sounds like the alarm clock every morning, and I don't like that. So once I got out of the Army, I said I'll never get up early again. But well, all the veterans in here, please stand up. There they are. There we go. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you for your service and your sacrifice, first and foremost. So thank you, guys. Look, the Marines always the last to sit. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, Lord, help us, the Marines. I didn't bring any crayons. Y'all get any crayons back there? Just kidding. But anyway, that's just jokes that we have within our camaraderie, as we call it. But I guess y'all all know me by now, being probably the mad veteran. I got mad, because other veterans didn't know what was going on. And then you had some that were active duty that I still know that they didn't know what's going on. And I'm like, how in the heck are you in the United States military and you don't even know your own laws and your own regulations, your own branch regulations, your own ceremonies, your own uniforms? How do you not know that? I mean, to me, when I heard my grandpa and my dad through the years talking about military, and my brother and my nephew and all my family members, it was a prideful thing. It was something they always swelled up with, they teared up with. I had a great uncle who stormed the beaches of Normandy. He was a Purple Heart. I had a relative that got killed in Vietnam. He had just turned 18 years old and got killed. So it was always a thing that before I went in the military, I always thanked my dad and my grandpa and my brother and my nephew and all the others in my family for their service. And, and they took it serious as well. So, I went on this little rant. It's only been like 6 weeks ago, so I'm real new at this, but I do love to talk, as you can see. So wasn't too hard of a transition over there for me. So, but, the first thing I always start out with is our military foundation, because a lot of people don't know that the military came first in this nation, which is very important. The Army came first. June 14th, 1775. Then you had the first 69 articles of the Uniform Code of Military Justice, which is our military law, June 30th, 1775. Then you had the Navy, October 13th, 1775. Then they saved the best for last. The Marines, November the 10th, 1775. And then also our founders were pretty cool trolls, because I love trolls too, as Kimberly said. I love trolls because trolls let you know you're doing something right, because they're grasping for straws, and I'm showing you a foundation of law and order. Okay, and the very first flag that we had in United States history, our military, was not this flag. It was the Grand Union flag, December the 3rd, 1775, where our founders took the British symbol here and then added it with the stripes, which I think is an awesome troll move, because they declared independence 7 years before the war ended. They're saying, hey, we're going to kick your butt before the war ended. They didn't declare it after the war ended. They declared it 7 years before the war ended, that we declare independence and we're going to win this thing. So then on the Army's birthday, this flag, 13 stars and 13 stripes, was sworn into Congress June 14th, 1777, on the Army's birthday, and also someone else's birthday. Where did there he is. June 14th. God's timing is impeccable. So June 14th, 1777, and that same flag 51 days later flew at one of the bloodiest battles of the Revolutionary War. So Mr. Colin Kaepernick, you can happily stand your ass up. Okay. So the flag represented the military first. It first flew at a military installation, at a fort. So, you know, that's not up for debate. Now, you don't have to like it, but there's 195 other countries out there registered that you can take your happy butt to if you don't like it. But if I want another country like this one, guess what? I'm in it. I'm in the only one that's just like it. And I like the foundation, and I like the Constitution, and I like our rights, and I want to keep them that way. So I think that everybody should know our military foundation. The military, we have our own what? We have our own laws, don't we? Separate than federal laws. We have our own regulations. We have our own way of life. In the military, you cannot take your phone out like this. When you're in uniform, you get a phone call. Hello. Yeah, what's up? Yeah. Yeah, hey, let me call you back. Let me call you back when I get off duty. Okay, cool. You cannot walk and talk in uniform in the military. You have a pivot foot. That's it. All right, up here in cold weather, I would not make it too much in your neck of the woods because I'm obviously wearing two shirts as we speak. And we got a guy back here, he has shorts and a t-shirt. And I'm like, oh, man, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a manly man, right? So you can't put your hands in your pocket in uniform and walk. They never go in your pocket, ever. So there's little things like that you pay attention to detail to. Little things matter. So anyways, I was going to change it up for the onliners out there because I know that I say the same thing a lot, but you pay attention to detail. So let's go into executive orders. There's a blueprint of what's going on right now. There's a blueprint. And I had a troll last night. It was this is kind of awesome because my mother at first was like, don't pay attention to negativity. I'm like, no. Sometimes you gotta lay the hammer down, like Scott McKay says. Sometimes you gotta put the hammer down. It's not negative energy when you're laying the hammer down with facts and things you can tangibly look up. So, you know, I had a troll this morning go, you know what you are? You're a false prophet. I'm pretty sure that I'm not preaching. I'm pretty sure I'm just talking about laws and orders. So I think that's quite humorous. It's like when you're right over target. Okay, we had another one, a lead story this morning. It's called leadstories.com. And they're saying the flight app does not show that Donald Trump is still president. I'm like, no crap, Sherlock. And it's all over it. It says Derek Johnson is wrong about this and wrong about that. I'm like, I'm not wrong. Law and order might be wrong, but I'm not wrong. So it's the same thing. I grew up in one of the little hometowns of To Kill a Mockingbird, Harper Lee. It'd be like me reading To Kill a Mockingbird to you and you going, you get mad at me. I didn't write this. This is Law and Order, right? This is To Kill a Mockingbird. Harper Lee wrote this. Why you get mad at me for telling me what it wrote? So for people to get mad, but that's our foundation. We are a nation of law and order. Go out. If you don't believe me, go out there and get on one of your streets out here. Blow by that street sign that says 55 or 45, whatever it is. Go about 25 over and tell that state trooper, that's just a suggestion. And he's going to say, well, I don't care. Here's your ticket. You can go where? You can go see the judge in the court of what? Law. Boom, he's going to hit that gavel, and he's going to look like me on that video going, I don't care. This is what the law says. You were dangerously driving, reckless dangerous, whatever they call it, reckless driving. So we're a nation of law and order. And every one of Donald Trump's executive orders were different, though. The ones that play into this were different than any other time in United States history. There were some U.S. codes he also added his name to, which shows you what took place. It's all in what I call the blueprint. I call them the documents that I wrote together. And I wanted to do that for my own validity when I wrote them because of my service time. I saw some stuff that wasn't military bearing, wasn't military orders, wasn't military regulations, and wasn't military law. I saw a lot of stuff I wasn't supposed to see because I had this knowledge back here of our Constitution and our foundation and all those regulations. So when I did that, I did it from my own validity. And then I started sharing it with a few buddies. But the executive orders, I can't go into all of them because they're so long and different. I do have that on video so you can watch that. But all those form a blueprint of how Donald Trump was able to do what he did, and I'm moving forward. So right in front of everybody, as my mama said, quit talking down to people. And so I was, I got to practice on her for like weeks before this video went viral. And I'm like, I can't believe people can't say this. So yeah, I didn't use the microphone, but I'm like, it's right in front of everybody. How can they not see this? I mean, it was that crystal clear to me, even though, being a veteran, but you don't have to be a veteran to know law and order. You don't have to be a veteran to know our military history. You don't have to be a veteran to know anything about our foundation. You don't have to be. You don't have to be. And veterans, we have some veterans now, they're entitled. When I did this, when I did that, when I did this, when I was in Iraq, when I was in Afghanistan, it don't matter because your resume wasn't for you. It's for all these people sitting here. And when we're in service, I'm supposed to think about you first, and you first, and you first before I think about myself. And you're supposed to think about me before you think about yourself. And all these things that we have, yes, I use my GI Bill, but it's a privilege. It's a privilege. And we have a lot of self-entitled civilians too. Because military, there's some spoiled Americans, aren't there? Very spoiled Americans. Very spoiled Americans. We got a TV show now. Here's your rose. No. Don't give it to that girl. She ain't deserving of that. Can you know what would happen if I got 25 girls in a house without a TV? Sorry, Mom. They call me a hoe. But we put a TV camera around it, and it's cool and okay. But what's going on? All this self-entitlement. We have so much stuff, people forgot our history. People forgot. And now we're in a moment where it matters, and we still have people who aren't waking up. That's why I went on my rant saying, you need to wake your asses up. Wake them up. So all these laws and orders, and Donald Trump said the whole time, everything he said wasn't a pep rally speech. It wasn't to light a candle on your butt. It wasn't to do any of those things. It had optics in it, as we call optics in the military. It had code language written all over it. And the first one you should have picked up on, especially our military veterans, especially if you're older, over a certain age. And I'm not picking on y'all's ages, but y'all all older than me. Just kidding. But I got protection. They'll get me out of here. Y'all not kicking my butt today. But President Trump, they did this on purpose because everything you've seen since October 2016, when Donald Trump roasted Hillary at the Al Smith charity dinner, when he roasted her, everything since that day forward has been optics and a covert operation. Our military took control without y'all knowing about it because he said a lot of key words, what I'm about to say. I'm going to skip ahead to the one right now, but he said, never again will we announce to the public and the American people what we're doing with our military. Because why? Because if we tell you the people, guess who else finds out? The enemy. But we will what? We will earn your respect through the economy. We will earn your trust through your economy and your paychecks. When we're doing that for you, you won't even worry about the military because you know what? We got your back always. So that's the thing he said. Then come over here. He's standing on stage. Jeb Bush. This was on purpose because the Bushes are corrupt. When you find out they are, you're going to be, you'll lose all respect when you find this out. But they did this on purpose. Jeb Bush said, who's going to vote for you, who's going to back you, and who's going to support you? And President Trump, my man here, I love smartasses because if smartasses have backup and they have laws and orders, then you can be a smartass because that's called what? Confidence, because you have what? Law and order, and it's a foundation that you can stand on. So my man right here said, well, that's a loaded question. That's actually more than one question. And if Doug back there would give me time to answer it, I'm going to answer it for you. I sound like a Pentecostal preacher. Whew. I need a breath. I need a handkerchief too. So he goes, well, first off, who's going to vote for me? The American people. Because every one of you on this stage has been in office no less than 4 years. You stand up on this stage and you tell the American people what they want to hear, and you never get in office and do it. And that's not going to be me, because why? I'm not a politician. I'm a businessman. Who's going to back me? Who's going to support me? Where are my veterans at again? I have over 200 military generals right now backing me. Now, for many years, that was called a conspiracy theory, all right? Because 200 generals had said that never again after JFK that would they let that happen in this country again, that if they had a chance, they'd take it over, throw a good kind of coup, and take it back over and reset it on its foundation, which also debunks January the 6th while I'm at it. January 6th is an FBI setup. When it all comes out, you'll know I'm not crazy. But there's no such thing as an insurrection in our original foundation, because the Declaration of Independence specifically says we have the right to alter or abolish any government that goes against its foundation. So it goes back to what Kimberly was talking about, all these people telling you what you're going to do with the mask. Well, why are you telling me what to do? How about I tell you what to do? How about that? How about whenever all these trolls, I wish it was a little bit more optic. I wish it was a little bit more visual for the military, because you know what I would do? I'd hog tie them like that, arms and legs, lay them on their stomach, and I'd take my stanky sock off and put it right in their mouth and say, how about military law now? How about that law now? Because if you really could talk to all us veterans and see us on duty, you'd realize we are the most inclusive people in the world, because we all serve with people from all over different states, different sexes, different sexual preferences, different religious backgrounds, everything. That has nothing to do with your freedom overall. It actually has everything to do with it, because if you don't have that kind of mindset to protect you, you ain't going to get to do anything that you want to do, because the corporation's motto is what? Power acquisition. Chaos and division equals power acquisition, because they'll appease to this team for a while, build that up, make money off of them, and then this one over here, this group of people, while they're down, well, let's come back over here, let's cater to them, let's bring them up and make money. And guess what? Look around at our U.S. Who's still in poverty? We still have cities. We have people on the street. Why? Why? We were talking about it as we drove across Idaho and all these places. Look, it's overpopulated. Woo, man. There's a lot of countryside that is not taken. So when you put all those together, you'll see that there's a blueprint of how Donald Trump was able to operate. He didn't write all those by himself. That was a military backing him. Those generals. And it ain't just men. This ain't no power tripping man thing. There's a lot of women generals back there. Probably a lot more than males, from what we understand. Okay, so men got to step up, right? This ain't a man and woman thing. This ain't a Republican Democrat thing. This is not a, anything. This is good versus evil. And we got the world backing us too, because Donald Trump went on 2017 and 2020 tours. He was crowned king in Saudi Arabia. All right, he declared Jerusalem capital of Israel, which was very biblical. So when you take all those things, you put them together, then you can see what happened right in front of you. Everybody was focused on the drama, because we're a drama-filled nation, like I just said. Drama-filled, January 6th. Everybody saw Nancy Pelosi tearing up the speech back on the February 4th, 2020. Everybody focused on the negativity. No one saw what we were seeing. No one witnessed what we were seeing. If you're a veteran, you know what you're serving for. You're like, man, dude, did you hear what President Trump just said? He had all these optics laid in there. We have it all. We've caught them all. All crimes and evidence will be displayed to the public in full accordance to the law. If we had a drinking game right now, y'all would all be comatose. If I said, every time I say law and order, take a drink, y'all would all be on the floor right now, except for the Marine. Except for the Marine. Anyway, but she's knowing. So you got that going on. So let's go up the two most important things. That app this morning that said that Derek Johnson's wrong because the flight app don't show that Donald Trump's still president. You're 110% correct. You know why? Because Article 2 of the Constitution says he is. Because why? Executive Order 13919, Executive Order 13912, Executive Order 13848, 13912, he put in there, I'm going to activate the troops. Now, that's the layman's terms for it. But you can go look that up. Okay, so you saw 35,000 troops march into D.C. You know what we can do with 1,000 troops? $35,000 for an inauguration? Wasn't an inauguration. Did you just hear me? Yeah, I just said that. It was not an inauguration. All the world right now. How many people is in the world? 7.5 billion? Somewhere roughly. 7.5 billion people thought they saw an inauguration on January the 20th. And little old Derek Johnson from Alabama. Y'all, I'm missing Alabama-Arkansas game today for y'all. That's a big deal. Big deal. Big deal. Woo. So, what was that? Oh, it's Auburn fan over here. They can't figure out what their mascot is. Eagle, tiger. Eagle, tiger. I'm going to be quiet. You gave me a pretty nice gift back there. I'm going to be quiet now. So I'm wrapping up here because I know that they didn't put the timer on for me. Thank y'all. But I know I'm getting there because I see Lewis over here. I'm trying not to see him. I'm like, give me 5 more minutes. So January 6th, I saw that. It distracted everybody. 35,000 troops roll in. Last I checked, the only person who can activate, or we call it federalizing, the National Guard to active duty. Why they call it national, right? Even a Marine can figure that out. National, federal, national, federal. The only person who can activate the National Guard, the federal duty, they call it federalizing, is whom? President of the United States. Who was the president again on January 6th, January 17th? That's what I thought. I mean, I am from Alabama, so you know I'm lucky to leave there. I'm lucky to leave there being able to spell. And someone said the other day that when you get your marriage license down there, they ask you, are you first cousins or not? Well, I'm single, lady, so I ain't crossed that bridge yet. I ain't had that question, but I hope no. We're going to do Ancestry DNA or 23andMe before we get married. So, Donald John Trump, right? Donald John Trump. All right, ladies, here it is. Ladies and gentlemen. So on January 20th, you see President Trump, and they say, oh, he's stepping down. Yeah, he stepped down. He stepped down as president. Because why? What did we just say a while ago? What is a separate law? You're president over federal law, and you're commander-in-chief over military law. Yeah, he stepped down as president, but he stepped up as commander-in-chief because his executive orders say that. When he activated troops, he became a wartime president. The last president to do that was FDR, and he had a lot of optics in his speeches to do it FDR. 47 U.S. Code 606 gives the president full authority to shut down TV broadcasts, and internet broadcasts, and government use of facilities. What did you see go around the Capitol building again? A fence? Was it some little dog fence? Hey, we're dog friendly now. Bring your dogs over to the Capitol. No, it was a high fence, and it was facing inwards, replicating a prison. All right, so there's that. Donald John Trump. January the 20th, Donald John Trump is at Joint Base Andrews. All right, he has the official presidential salute battery with him, the official, in regulation uniforms. He walks off Marine One on a red carpet rollout, which signifies high honor. And on the 4th ruffle, ba-ba-ba, 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 upheld to the chief of the presidential salute battery. On the 4th, not the 3rd, not the 2nd, not the 1st. Remember those pay attention to details in the military? On the 4th ruffle, the 21-gun salute is supposed to start, as it did. That's it. It's real simple. That's real simple with Donald John Trump. Boom. Fully constitutional and military regulated inauguration service. All right, let's go over here to Sleepy Joe. All right, Sleepy Joe. The first thing every veteran should have noticed right off the bat was every single soldier, not 1, 2, 5, 10, every single soldier was in non-regulation uniforms. They didn't match. They had multicam uniforms on, ACU pattern Kevlar vests. They have brown insignia, what we call patch base, where you put your insignia on. The insignias were all jacked up. Some of them were wearing the same patches, just all effed up, as we'd say. I can't say that word because my mom was watching. So, all jacked up. I don't say that either when she's not watching. Sorry. Better specify that. So, all jacked up. Go square yourself away, private. No, all of them. Okay, so that should have been the first thing. The inauguration. So the day before, right, they had a master gunnery sergeant wearing BDUs. Do you know when the last time the Marines wore the BDUs anyways? Even if it wouldn't have done that period in that, but even if it was, what was it, 2005? Y'all want to know how old I was in 2005? No, you don't. Okay. That alone right there debunked everything. You didn't even have to move forward in it that day. Every uniform was non-regulation uniforms. Then you get to the Capitol. There he's like, I, dog pony soldier, golden hairy legs in the pool. All the kids want to touch my legs. Remember that speech? Remember that? Oh, all the kids want to touch my legs in the pool. That is weird. As I can't even believe I'm repeating that. It's just so nasty. Raise his right hand, 11:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Swore in. That is a violation of the 20th Amendment of the Constitution, which specifically says that the president's term is to begin and end at noon, more specifically 12:01 p.m., just to stamp it. Go out and watch the video, 11:47 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right, so that alone right there, that should have, I mean, there was so much stuff that already debunked it. Then what happens? Also, the motorcade. Not 5, not 10, not some dumb private sitting around going, oh, we're on duty with the president. No, every single soldier did not do what? Didn't salute. Didn't salute. Didn't salute. And I had someone say, well, maybe they were just guarding the back, president of the back. No, he got Secret Service for that. It's not what the military does. Not in that session. Turn their back on it. We will always salute the president, and we will always salute a moving flag. That's a fact. When you raise your right hand, Title 10 of the Constitution says what? I, Derek Johnson, do solemnly swear to support and defend the Constitution. They don't say defend and support. It says support and defend. You can't defend something if you don't support it first. And I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same. All right? Against all enemies, foreign and domestic. So that alone, that's Title 10 of the Constitution. Same Title 10 that President Trump was able to activate the troops with. So that's what you witnessed on January 17th when those troops moved in. Donald John Trump, under Article 2 of the Constitution, with his first duty as president is borders and security. And because Congress did not address 3 national emergencies in, there's my 3 again. I'm going to mess up the Illuminati today. They think I'm Illuminati. I'm like, yeah. So, 3 national emergencies went unaddressed by Congress. The first one was a violation of Congress in the first place, 3 of them. That's why President Trump had to, what, federalize the troops to what? To handle this national security breach. Because when Congress didn't do that, it became a breach of security to you, the people. That's why he had to federalize the troops. The first time in U.S. history that we've activated all 50 states at one time. First time. So it's all in Title 10. You can go read it. Title 10, Chapter 1209, Title 10, 12406, and Title 10, period. You can see Donald Trump's name under that and the national emergencies that were unaddressed. Timestamp March 13, 2020 was one of his last ones. So you can go, that's what activated the troops. And until those orders are rescinded, and they haven't been, and every day I check my flight out, which I was checking it this morning, there are National Guard aircraft all out of their states, all out of this country. The only way they can do that is to be federally activated. So all those alone show you that Donald Trump's still in power as commander-in-chief behind the scenes in what they call like an exile. It's called a Commonwealth number 671. You can go read that. Okay. He's commander-in-chief over the troops back here. They never were going to tell the American people, the public, once again, because what we said, they wanted people to go about their business where they can clean all this up back here. We didn't need the good old boys in the street. I'm a good old boy from the South. We didn't need the good old boys in the street out there. I got my AR-15. I'm going to fight for my country. No, you ain't done it yet. So sit your little butt down at your house while the real soldiers do the job. Okay, that's not saying you can't be a patriot. It's just saying that this was an operation that was planned way back here when Donald Trump roasted Hillary. That's when it started. That's why I got so mad, because the people have been asleep that long. All these orders, everything he wrote showed you right there what's going on. So it's like sleepyhead, wake up, because you're already 6 years into this, almost 7, and you're 2 years into the visual operations of the military aircraft. So you go back, all that, and then you're seeing this right here. All right, Lewis, you can get ready because we got a little skit. So on January the 20th, right, you got Sleepy Joe over here swearing in the wrong time, violating that Constitution. None of his soldiers are real. All right. Then it didn't matter if it was a 21 gun salute. The one I heard was a 13 gun round fire, but it doesn't matter. That leads to indirect British rule. All right. And then you 21 gun salute. We were talking about this a while ago. I was trying to find it right here. Where'd he go? Right there. So 21 gun salute, though. So you got presidents, former presidents, president-elects, heads of government, and reigning monarchy. What is reigning monarchy doing in our constitutional republic again? Okay, so 21 gun salute still leads to British, okay, as a 13 gun round fire. That didn't signify what I'm about to say, because I had some people say that. Well, I heard 21 gun salute. Okay, cool. Guess what? It still leads to this. 3-piece volley. I was an air missile defense guy. They call it air defense artillery. I'm not artillery by trade. And artillery guys say, you ain't really artillery. I was like, no, I'm not. That's like a Marine. That's like a Navy and a Marine getting an argument. You're not really a Marine, right? You know, you're a Navy. Where's my Navy guy? Where's he at? There he is. Yeah, y'all can have that battle later. Okay. I'm not breaking that up. So, anyways, so you have that right there. So, 21 gun salute, hail to the chief, those that signify. 3-piece volley. Called a 3-volley salute. V-O-L-L-E-Y, like volleyball. 3-volley salute. You know what that signifies? So 2 for firing, 1 for misfire. On January 20th, 2021, the world witnessed Joseph Robinette Biden Jr. have a full-grade military funeral service.
So people online are saying, how tall is Derek? How tall is Derek? My God. Just so you know, without his hat, 5'6". Okay. So just because he wears a tall hat doesn't mean he's tall. It's hilarious. Yeah, by the way, did you know he accidentally threw in that he was single, right? Did you notice that? That's just slipped that right in. He goes, y'all, but I'm single, right? Total mistake. He didn't do it on purpose, of course. It's also interesting because I was talking to Derek yesterday, because he says, like I do too, he says,